Today, I was actually hoping to do a simply answered video because I haven't done one of those in a while, right? So I was looking at Reddit and I was thinking what I could simply answer for you all today. And what I ended up seeing was something like this. Three biggest habits to get anyone to like you. So this was 833 upvotes. That's quite a lot for a sub of this size. And now, if you think about it, this tells you that we generally want to be liked. Yes? Therefore, these types of tips are helpful for us because it helps us achieve something. It helps us be liked, which is a need that we have. And it's totally fine to have that need. Moreover, I saw a post like this. Once you've established, substantially raised your income, gotten a decent body, dressed well, and can't still can't find anyone willing to date you, how do you keep going, right? So this is a very common kind of a post that you see in the mental health subreddits because a lot of people are lonely. And now this combined with the previous post tells us two things. Number one, we want to be liked, and number two, we're willing to put in the work into things if it has this expected return, right? You will find someone willing to date you. So, all of this is just, again, leading to the fact that we all think that we're looking for a friendship. We all think that we're looking for like a relationship, dating. We all think we're looking for these pure kind of connections with other people, but actually, what we want is transaction. We want a exchange with people. But now, again, I keep reiterating this. This isn't a bad thing. This is just a mode of thinking, right? I have a default mode of thinking that I'm trying to instill into my life these days by looking at everything from a positive angle. Does that mean if I get shot, like I'm gonna be happy about it? Well, of course, the impulse, the base reaction I'm gonna have is gonna be of horror and like and a lot of panic, right? But now, when it comes time to get away from the body and come back to connect to here, I am gonna think about the positive way. Holy crap, I didn't die. Whoa, that's a big win, right? I got shot, but hey, it's okay. So much could have happened. So a lot of worse things could have happened, but it's okay. So I'm going to try and think of things that way, right? So just like that, positivity, thinking negatively also is kind of a thought pattern that you can choose, right? I'm gonna look at everything from a negative lens, and now just like those lenses, looking at things from a transactional perspective is again just a modality of thinking. And you know what? It does. I talked about this a little bit in the yesterday's video, but it does help really define clear cut lines, and it removes the need for kind of like dramas around the gray area of life. Okay, so I have either a written explicit agreement with you, or I have an implicit agreement with you in my mind. And when you breach it, good. I'm just not gonna deal with you anymore. Clear boundary. It's good, right? So again, nothing bad about this transactional mindset. But now, what we expect as a result of this transactional mindset, um, typically doesn't reflect what we actually want. So we want so basically, again, same as yesterday. If you're lingering between two modalities, you're just kind of gonna get mixed results. So if you want good friendships where you're respected, good. You want to feel respected, right? So you have to find people who will respect you, right? Now, if you can do that, then you can. If you can just satisfy that need by itself isn't that hard. So you might want to argue back with me, right? So I completely understand the counter argument of yeah, but now here's the thing. You want people who will respect and love you, and you want a lot of things on top of that. So for example, if you want to be respected and loved, you can go to, like a local children and do cool things that adults can do for you, right? For them. And so now you're an adult, the group of kids, and they're like, wow, this guy's so big. And, if you're good at basketball, you can play with junior high kids and then you can dominate them, right? And so you can get a lot of like wows and respects that way. And if you want to be liked, then, if you find people now, again, like in that transactional hierarchy of things, you have a kind of a we can try and deny it, but you have a relative ranking in this world, right? You place yourself in some kind of a rank. If you seek people who are below your rank, which again just kind of exists in a because we live in a group of we live among a group of people and there are implicit hierarchies inside everyone's mind. If you search for people beneath you, then you do find those people. But now you don't want specifically that, right? You want to fulfill your need to be liked along with being cool. And so you want to advance your ranking. You want to be respected and loved by the people who are typically cooler than you. People who are typically more accomplished than you, people who you can look up to, people you consider to be good and respectable. You want them to reciprocate it back to you. And now here is when things get a little bit difficult. Because if you think about it, why would they? Right? What do they get out of you? You need to kind of, if you are going to engage in this transactional relationship and you're expecting something out of a transaction, they are going to do the same to you. So you have to provide value to them. You have to be a cooler person than them to give them that kind of a need, right? So if you're not, that's where the discrepancy happens. And a lot of people are lonely. Now switching gears to dating. So I want to date people, but nobody likes me. But, you know, again, very extreme example. If you find people who are way older than you and people who, I don't know, are divorced, has kids, and you're in your 20s, you're going to have a fairly simple time finding people who will really like you. But you don't want that, right? You want people ideally in your age group. You want people ideally who are more attractive than you, or at least on par with you, right? But then again, for those people, what they are looking for is likely something that's higher than them, right? So that's where the mismatch is. So if you are going to pick the transactional mindset, then how do we kind of address this? Well, a clean way to address it is you isolate your needs. Okay, so I want cool friends, but at the same time, I want them to, be athletic and I want them to be financially stable so that they can do me favors. I want them to have a car and blah, blah, blah. So the problem usually happens when you try to fulfill all of this at once. So if you just focus on solving one problem, I want a friend with a car. Doesn't matter if it's a 97 Corolla or like a 92 Accord. It can be a broke down, beaten down like crap car. But the thing is, if you're okay with that, you can be a friend with that person, right? Good, you fulfilled this. Now, a person with that kind of a car, they're gonna have a need, right? And you focus on delivering their need. Okay, so I want to hang out with you, and what is it that you're looking for in a friendship? Like you're not gonna approach it like this, but as you have conversations with people, you get a general sense of what people like, right? And if you don't know that general sense of what people like, then it's a matter of not meeting enough people, kind of an issue. Now, we'll go back into that a little bit later. So, and now you want to meet athletic friends. Good, go to the gym, but don't expect like deeper friendships there. Just fulfill the need to have athletic friends who can spot you time to time and who can participate in group sports with you time to time. Good, you've solved that need. Now, is it the more you do this, is it likely that the pool of people you know will increase, and therefore the probability of you finding someone who fulfills more than one need will be there? Yeah, it'll grow over time. And now that's good, right? But at the same time, it's a chance, so I wouldn't like count on it. But I'm just telling you, if you solve the problems of like if you solve your needs that you are expecting out of a transactional relationship one by one, that's gonna actually solve the problems one by one, right? Uh it's a classic case of divide and conquer, because what you want, everything nicely wrapped up in one package, is probably not going to be getting a lot of value from you. And now going to the dating world, um, you know, if you basically date people below your league, then it's gonna work, right? So you have to identify what is it that you want. What is it that you're looking for in a relationship, and the people who can provide that to you, what do they want? And if they if it's explicitly something that they want, then you can work for, good. But now, you, as we saw in the earlier post, you can do all of these things, right? But you can still not be attractive to people, right? But again, that's just a standard, right? So if I am in a, it's basically a number one, it's a game of probability. So the more I take care of myself, the more people who are sort of at my league or above my league can find me attractive. Because, again, I'm trying to fulfill that need that these people in the higher hierarchy have. And now, that is a chance. But they can still not like you because they have free will. So they might be interested in someone who has a good physique. But at the same time, they're human too, right? So they're gonna want a lot of things fulfilled. So they're gonna want a rich, buff person. But if you're buff but not rich, yeah, you don't fulfill that need. So you have to understand that it's a probability game for you, and at the same time, other people will likely think like that for you too. So if you are trying to put all your eggs in one basket for self development just for the sake of dating, then you have to understand that friendships you can kind of pick and choose, but for dating, if it's really dating that you want, the higher chances come to the lower, league bracket. Higher one is good for you, good for your self development, but again, it's a chance because people's romantic interests are inherently more like, it's more complex, right? We want more out of romance compared to friendships. So that's like the only reason why it's a slightly little bit more complex. And that's sort of it for the nature of transactional relationships. Like, what do you want? Be clear with that, and if you can satisfy that, good. As you're satisfying it, satisfy the needs of another person. Then you have a nice transactional relationship going. For things like dating, it's a probability game, and preferences are different for people. So the more you do self development, the better it is for you. Like, it's good for you if you're healthy, right? It's good for you if you know how to talk well and you're pretty social. It's good for you if you can feel comfortable around people, right? So that by itself is good, but if you want certainty in dating, you want to gauge with the relative league stuff. Okay, so now this all requires a bit of understanding of like human beings and their desires and like what drives people commonly, right? Which means you have to talk to a lot of people, you have to get the chance to encounter a lot of people. And now you might have really big anxiety about this, and you don't know how to get out of your shell, you don't know how to start talking with people. Let's talk about that in tomorrow's video.